Let me ask you something. Have you ever said no to a family outing? Not because you didn't want to go, but because your knees wouldn't let you. Maybe you've stood at the edge of the playground, watching your grandkids laugh, run, and climb, and felt that ache in your legs whispering, "Not today." You want to be present, you want to keep up, but every step reminds you that something's changed. The stiffness when you wake up in the morning, the dull ache that follows you through the grocery store, that sharp jolt in your knees when you try to rise from the couch. It's easy to brush it off as just getting older, but here's what no one tells you. Joint pain doesn't just slow you down physically. It chips away at the life you want to live. It keeps you from dancing at family weddings. It makes long walks feel like long battles. It quietly builds a wall between you and the people you love. And maybe the hardest part, you still feel young inside. You'll remember what it felt like to move freely, to hike, to garden, to carry your grandchild without hesitation. The desire is there, but your legs won't cooperate. And every time you feel that sharp twinge in your knee or that heavy burn in your hips, it's a reminder that your body isn't working the way it used to. You may have tried over-the-counter creams, stretching routines, or even pain medications, and maybe they helped for a while. But the pain always comes back, so you start to wonder, is this just how it is now? Here's the truth. It doesn't have to be, because underneath that stiffness, your body still holds the potential to heal, to move, to rebuild strength. But it needs the right support and the right nourishment. There's one natural food that research shows can help ease joint pain, rebuild cartilage, and even make your legs feel stronger. It's not a miracle. It's not overnight, but it's real. And it could help you reclaim something that feels lost. But before I show you what it is, let's talk about what's really happening inside your joints after 60. Because once you understand that, everything else starts to make sense. Here's the hard truth no one likes to talk about. After the age of 60, your joints change. Silently, steadily, and often painfully. Cartilage, the smooth cushion between your bones, begins to wear down. It becomes thinner, less elastic. It stops protecting you the way it used to. Without that cushion, every step becomes friction. Every movement is bone grinding on bone. And that grinding, that's inflammation knocking at the door. Inflammation is your body's alarm system, trying to protect you. But when it lingers too long, it turns from helpful to harmful. Your knees swell, your hips stiffen, your ankles feel like they're walking through wet cement. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. You're experiencing the biological reality of aging joints. And you're not alone. According to the CDC, nearly 1 in 2 adults over 65 has some form of arthritis. That's over 30 million people in the US alone. And arthritis is just the beginning. Degenerative joint disease or synovial fluid decline, these are the silent drivers behind the stiffness, pain, and weakness that make your legs feel like they're giving up on you. But it's not just about pain. When your joints hurt, your movement changes. You begin to avoid stairs. You sit longer. You walk shorter distances. And that lack of movement, it leads to muscle loss, which means your legs, the very foundation of your mobility, become weaker with each passing month. It's a cycle. Pain leads to stillness. Stillness leads to weakness. Weakness leads to more pain. And here's the worst part. Most people try to fix it with painkillers, a quick pill, a cream, maybe even a steroid shot. But painkillers don't rebuild cartilage. They don't stop inflammation at its source. They simply turn down the volume on your body's alarm. And this is where most people get stuck. Because if you only treat the symptom, pain but not the cause, inflammation, degeneration, and muscle loss, you're just buying time. The pain always returns. So what's the alternative? What actually works? That's where food comes in. Not just any food, but anti-inflammatory nutrients that support your joints from the inside out. And one food in particular does this better than most. It doesn't just block pain, it helps your body restore balance. And we'll reveal what it is in just a second. Imagine your joint pain like a fire burning slowly in your knees, hips, or lower back. Painkillers, they're like putting on noise-canceling headphones. You might not hear the fire alarm anymore, but the fire is still there, quietly spreading. That's the problem with most common treatments. They silence the signal, but do nothing to stop the damage. Acetaminophen, ibuprofen, even stronger prescriptions. They can numb the ache for a few hours, but underneath the surface, the cartilage continues to erode. The inflammation keeps simmering. The muscles that support your joints stay underused and undernourished. And the longer this continues, the harder it becomes to reverse. That's why anti-inflammatory foods are different. They don't just mask the pain. They help extinguish the fire at its source. You see, every bite you take either fuels inflammation or fights it. And your joints, They're deeply affected by what you put on your plate. Certain foods, like fried snacks, sugar, and processed meats, pour gasoline on the fire. They increase inflammatory markers in your blood, worsen cartilage breakdown, and make your joints feel stiffer, tighter, more tender. But the right foods, they act like firefighters. They lower inflammation, ease joint pressure, nourish cartilage cells, and even support synovial fluid, the natural lubricant your joints rely on to move smoothly. And it's not just theory. Dozens of studies in the past decade have shown that specific nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids and theanine. In one clinical trial, people who consumed a concentrated anti-inflammatory compound daily reported a 50% reduction in knee pain after just 8 weeks. And here's what's even more powerful. These foods don't just help your joints, they support your heart, your brain, your blood sugar, your energy. Because inflammation isn't just a joint issue, it's a whole body issue. And when you calm inflammation from within, everything starts to work better. So yes, you could keep taking pain meds. Or you could start giving your body the tools it needs to truly heal. And one food in particular goes deeper than any over-the-counter pill. It nourishes your joints, supports leg strength, and helps your body fight pain from the inside out. We'll reveal that in just a second. But first, let's understand what makes this food so powerful, and how it works on a cellular level to strengthen your legs and soothe your joints. So let's talk about this food, the one that doesn't just reduce joint pain, but helps rebuild what time and inflammation have worn down. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, and it's been used for thousands of years. I'm talking about, yes, that deep yellow-orange spice you've seen in curries and teas. But inside turmeric is something extraordinary. A compound called curcumin is what gives turmeric its anti-inflammatory power, and it's one of the most studied natural compounds in modern medicine. Think of curcumin like a firefighter that travels through your bloodstream, searching for hot spots of inflammation and cooling them down before they cause more damage. In people over 60, this matters more than ever, because when your joints are inflamed, your cartilage can't heal properly, your synovial fluid dries up, your mobility shrinks. But curcumin interrupts that cycle. In a 2016 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, patients with osteoarthritis who took a curcumin supplement experienced significantly less pain and greater mobility, comparable to people taking ibuprofen but without the side effects. Other studies have shown that curcumin can slow cartilage degradation, reduce morning stiffness, and improve walking distance in seniors with knee and hip problems. And it doesn't stop at your joints. Curcumin also supports brain health, heart function, and even gut balance, which is closely tied to inflammation throughout the body. But let's take it one step further. Turmeric isn't just good for soothing pain, it also plays a role in strengthening your legs. Here's how. When inflammation goes down, your muscles are better able to repair after movement. Circulation improves. Nutrients are delivered more efficiently to the tissues that support your knees, hips, and ankles. It's like clearing out the debris after a storm so the builders can come in and restore what's been damaged. So yes, turmeric is more than a spice. It's a tool for rebuilding. And while turmeric is one of the best-known anti-inflammatory foods, it's not alone. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines are packed with omega-3 natural lubricants for your joints. They also help regulate your immune response and reduce joint swelling. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols, especially polycollagen, which has been shown to protect cartilage and reduce enzymes that break it down. And berries, loaded with anthocyanins, which fight inflammation and oxidative stress that weaken joint tissues. Over time, all of these foods work together, each with a slightly different mechanism, but the same goal: to protect, soothe, and restore your joints from the inside out. But knowing what to eat is only half the story, because how and when you eat these foods can make all the difference. Let's break that down next. So now you know which foods can soothe your joints and strengthen your legs. But here's where most people miss the mark. They learn about turmeric, or fish oil, or and then try to change everything at once. They overhaul their entire pantry, start a complicated meal plan, buy expensive supplements, and then they burn out. Nothing sticks, the pain comes back, and they tell themselves, it just doesn't work. But the truth is, it wasn't the food that failed, it was the strategy. Because the secret isn't in doing more, it's in doing less, more consistently. Let's start with turmeric. Most people think adding a little to their rice or eggs once a week is enough. But remember, turmeric is the spice. What actually fights inflammation is curcumin, its active compound. And curcumin is powerful, but it's tricky. On its own, your body barely absorbs it. It passes through your digestive system without doing much. But here's the good news. There's a simple way to unlock its full power, and you probably have the key in your kitchen right now. It's black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which acts like a transporter. It escorts curcumin through your gut lining and into your bloodstream. In fact, studies show that black pepper can increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That's not a typo. Now add one more element, fat. Curcumin is fat-soluble, which means it needs dietary fat to be absorbed properly. So what does this look like in real life? One simple ritual could be a morning turmeric drink. Warm up a cup of water or almond milk. Add half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a teaspoon of coconut oil or olive oil. Stir it well. Sip it slowly. But for your joints, it might as well be liquid gold. If you prefer capsules, look for turmeric supplements that contain black pepper extract, usually labeled as but. It's the same idea, combining curcumin with a delivery system that works. Now, let's go beyond turmeric. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, aim for 2 to 3 servings per week. Grill it with lemon, bake it in foil, add it to your salad or stir it into a rice bowl. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which act like natural joint lubricants and inflammation blockers. Want something sweet? Reach for pomegranate seeds or blueberries. They're rich in polyphenols and anthocyanins, compounds that reduce oxidative stress in your joints and protect your cartilage from further breakdown. And don't underestimate olive oil. Just a tablespoon a day drizzled over vegetables or used in light cooking has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. But here's the most important part. It's not about eating perfectly. It's about creating one repeatable habit you can do every day. Without thinking, without stress, without quitting. It could be a turmeric drink after breakfast, fish on Tuesdays and Fridays, a bowl of berries in the afternoon, a capsule before dinner with a few almonds, whatever fits your life. Because the real power of these foods isn't in the flavor, it's in the routine. Your joints don't heal from a single meal. They heal from momentum. Small actions repeated consistently over time. And you might be wondering, how long until I feel a difference? For some, it's 2 weeks. For others, a month. But here's what's almost always true. The longer you stick with it, the better your legs feel. The more flexible your knees become. The easier it is to rise from that chair, to climb those steps, to walk with confidence again. But there's a trap here, because even if you're eating the right foods, there are 2 silent mistakes that can cancel all your progress. And most people over 60 are doing at least one of them. We'll talk about those and how to fix them next. Now, even with the right foods on your plate, there are 2 hidden habits that could be working against you. These habits are so common that most seniors don't even realize they're doing them, but they silently sabotage your joints, weaken your legs, and undo the very progress you're trying to make. Let's talk about the first one. Sedentary behavior. It starts off harmless. Maybe you sit for breakfast, then stay seated to read or watch TV. You go out briefly, then come home and rest. A few hours pass, and you've taken less than 1,000 steps the entire day. Here's what most people don't realize. When your body stays still, your joints stiffen, your muscles shrink, your circulation slows. It's like a car that hasn't been driven in weeks. The engine works, but it takes longer to start. The parts creak, the battery drains. That's what your knees and hips feel when you sit too long. And worse, the cartilage in your joints relies on movement to get nutrients. Unlike other tissues in the body, cartilage doesn't have its own blood supply. It depends on the pressure and release from motion, walking, stretching, gentle bending, to deliver nutrients and remove waste. No movement means no nourishment. And over time, this starves your joints. But here's where it gets tricky. Pain makes you avoid movement, but avoiding movement makes the pain worse. It's a cruel cycle, and one that many seniors fall into without realizing. But now let's look at the second mistake. Hidden inflammatory foods. You might be doing your best to eat healthy, adding turmeric, eating fish, snacking on fruit. But if you're still including just a few of these common foods, they could be fanning the flames of inflammation every single day. Let me give you a few examples. Margarine and processed vegetable oils, high in omega-6 fats, which disrupt the balance in your joints. Packaged baked goods often filled with refined sugars and preservatives that spike inflammatory markers. Deli meats and sausages, filled with nitrates and saturated fats that irritate your tissues. Sugary drinks, including juices that seem healthy, but flood your system with glucose and accelerate joint aging. These aren't junk foods in the traditional sense. They're the quiet culprits. Foods that seem innocent, but slowly drain your body's ability to repair. And even 1 or 2 of them, eaten regularly, can undo the benefits of your anti-inflammatory meals. So if you've been eating the right foods, but still feel stuck, look at your hidden habits. Are you sitting for hours at a time without gentle movement? Are you still holding on to comfort foods that may be keeping inflammation alive? Because correcting these two habits can be the tipping point. The difference between waking up sore and waking up strong. And here's the best part. You don't need to become an athlete. You don't need to give up every indulgence forever. You just need to move with intention and replace a few common foods with healing ones. And speaking of movement, there's one joint-friendly exercise that takes just 3 minutes, requires no equipment, and can help reactivate your legs, even if you haven't exercised in years. We'll go through it together, right now. If your joints are stiff and your legs feel weak, movement can feel intimidating. But the key isn't to push harder, it's to move smarter. There's a short, gentle sequence you can do at home in just 3 minutes. No weights, no pressure, no fancy gear, just you, a chair, and a little space. This is called a joint activation routine. And what it does is simple but powerful. It sends fresh blood into the muscles around your knees and hips, warms up your joints, and stimulates your synovial fluid to start flowing again. Think of synovial fluid as the oil in your joints. When it's moving, your bones glide smoothly. When it's stagnant, everything feels rusty. So here's how to do it. Step 1. Seated leg marches. Sit upright in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the ground. Now lift one knee toward your chest, gently, and then lower it. Alternate sides. Go slowly. Focus on control, not speed. Do this for 30 seconds. You might feel tightness at first. That's normal. As your body warms up, the movement will feel easier. Step 2. Seated knee extensions. Stay seated. Now extend one leg straight in front of you, keeping your heel off the ground. Hold for a count of 3, then lower. Alternate legs. This activates your quadriceps, the large muscles that support your knees and help you rise from a chair. Repeat for another 30 seconds. Step 3. Ankle circles. Lift one foot slightly off the ground. Begin slowly rotating your ankle in a circular motion. 5 times clockwise, then 5 counterclockwise. This improves circulation to the lower legs and helps prevent stiffness in the feet and calves. Step 4. Seated glute squeezes. Sit tall, feet on the floor. Now squeeze your glutes, the muscles in your buttocks, as if you were trying to gently lift yourself off the chair without moving. Hold for 3 seconds, then release. Repeat for 30 seconds. This re-engages your core and supports better posture and hip stability. Step 5. Standing wall support calf raises. If you're comfortable standing, place your hands lightly on a wall or counter for balance. Lift your heels off the ground so you're on your toes. Pause for 1 second. Slowly lower down. Repeat this motion for 30 seconds. This exercise activates your calves, improves ankle mobility, and supports leg strength for walking and balance. You can do this full routine in about 3 minutes, but what it gives back is far more than just movement. It gives your body a signal that says, I'm still here, I'm still capable, I'm ready to rebuild. And here's the beauty of it. You can do this every morning while your coffee brews, every evening before you wind down, even during commercial breaks if you're watching TV. Over time, these small movements lead to big changes. Less stiffness in the morning, more confidence when standing, better circulation throughout the legs, and most important of all, the ability to keep doing what matters, like walking beside your partner, playing with your grandkids, or simply moving without fear. Now that you've got the foods and the movements, let's put them together. Because the real transformation happens when these habits become a rhythm, a daily routine that protects your joints, strengthens your legs, and supports your freedom as you age. Let's bring it all together now. Now let's bring it all together into a routine you can actually live with. One that fits into your real life. Not some perfect schedule that collapses after a week. The goal isn't to become a health guru. It's to feel good enough to keep doing what matters. To walk freely. To be present for the people you love. To age with strength instead of struggle. And that comes from consistency, not perfection. So here's a daily routine built around your body's natural rhythm, designed to support your joints, build leg strength, and reduce pain. One day at a time. Start in the morning. Activate. Your body has been still overnight. Joints are stiff. Blood flow is slow. Muscles are cold. So the first thing is movement. Before breakfast, take just 3 minutes for the joint activation sequence we covered earlier. These small motions wake up your knees, hips, and ankles. They get synovial fluid flowing. They tell your body, we're not done yet. After that, Hydrate. A glass of water with a splash of lemon helps flush out overnight waste and starts your digestion. Then comes your anti-inflammatory boost. Breakfast example: golden milk or turmeric tea with black pepper and healthy fat. A boiled egg or avocado toast with olive oil. Berries on the side: blueberries, raspberries, or pomegranate. This isn't just breakfast, it's targeted nourishment. It tells your joints we've got your back. Midday: support and protect. This is when most people get caught sitting. Long stretches of stillness undo much of the progress made in the morning. Set a reminder every hour to stand, stretch, or take a short walk around the room. Even 2 minutes makes a difference. Lunch should continue your joint support. A salad with olive oil, grilled salmon or sardines, some walnuts, and dark leafy greens. All of these deliver the compounds your joints need to stay strong. And if you need a snack later, try a handful of almonds or a small cup of green tea with tea. These keep inflammation down and energy steady. Evening: recover and restore. This is when the body shifts into repair mode, and you want to support that. Dinner can be simple: a piece of baked fish or chicken, steamed vegetables, sweet potato or brown rice, and olive oil for flavor and fat. Nothing heavy, nothing processed. After dinner, light movement helps. Walk around your home, do ankle circles, gently stretch your legs. This helps reduce overnight stiffness and supports circulation as you sleep. And before bed, a calming routine: sip warm turmeric tea. Again, if your digestion allows, do a few glute squeezes while lying down or seated. Focus on deep breathing. Give your joints the signal to rest and rebuild. None of this requires perfection. You won't do it all every day. But if you follow this rhythm most days, you'll notice the difference. A little less pain in the morning, a little more stability when you walk, the strength to lift your grandchild without hesitation, the confidence to say yes to things you've been avoiding. This isn't about fitness. It's about freedom. It's about giving your body the support it needs to keep showing up for the life you love. Now let's finish with one final reminder. The reason this all matters: because the pain in your legs isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's about staying present for the people who need you. Let's close with that. By now, you've seen what's possible. You've learned what's really happening inside your joints after 60. The quiet loss of cartilage, the buildup of inflammation, the weakening of the legs that once carried you without effort. But you've also learned that it's not irreversible. You've seen that food is more than fuel. It's medicine. It's information. It tells your body whether to fight or to heal. You've seen how turmeric, fish, berries, olive oil, when used with intention, can quiet the inflammation, nourish your cartilage, and give strength back to your legs. And you've learned how simple movement, just a few minutes a day, can reactivate your muscles, improve circulation, and reduce pain without strain. But this video was never just about joints. It's about what pain takes away from your life. It's about the things you quietly say no to, not because you want to, but because your legs say you have to. It's about the invitations you turn down, the walks you skip, the moments with family you half experience from a distance. And deeper than that, it's about your freedom. The freedom to move without fear, to walk into a room without scanning for the nearest chair, to reach for a hug, not a handrail, to be there, truly be there, when your loved ones need you. That's the goal. That's the reason all of this matters. Because you are not your pain. You are not your diagnosis. You are not a number in a chart or a label on a bottle. You are still here, still strong, still capable of healing. And yes, you may need to go slower than you used to. You may have to rebuild gently, step by step. But you are not broken. Your body is listening. Your joints are listening. And they respond to what you do every single day. Every gentle stretch, every moment you choose to move with care. It all adds up. So if you've been feeling stuck, discouraged, like your best years are behind you, let this be your turning point. Not with pressure, not with guilt, but with the quiet belief that healing is still possible, that strength is still within reach, that you deserve to feel good in your body again, not just for yourself, but for the people who love you, who look up to you, who want you around not just today, but for years to come. If this helped you, share it with someone else who's struggling, because no one should have to face joint pain alone. And if you're ready to take the next step toward healing, even a small one, just know this: you're not too old, you're not too late, you're not done. Take care of your joints, take care of your legs, and take care of your life. I'll see you in the next one.